Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of the DVC Show, coming to you from the Bob Varley Studio in Orlando, Florida. I'm your host, Pete Werner, joined at the table this week by my good friends Paul Krieger.
Hey, everybody.
Kerri McPherson.
Hi, everybody.
John Sicari.
Hey, everyone.
Hello, everyone. Oh, dear God. And our producer, Corey Fiescanaro.
Welcome home.
Yeah, he's putting that thing down because he knows it's going to be, I'm going to set it on fire in a second. Welcome, folks. Just a reminder, this show, along with all the DVC content we produce, is brought to you by the World of DVC, which includes DVCResaleMarket.com to purchase your DVC resale contract, DVCRentalStore.com, where you can rent out your points, or if you're thinking about DVC, you can rent some points and try before you buy. And MoneraFinancial.com, where you can finance your DVC purchases. So if you like our content, if you enjoy the stuff that we produce, then please show your support by giving your business to our sponsors, because that's how we pay to do this. So this week, we're going to talk about Aulani. I just got back from a week in Aulani. John was with me.
Loved it.
And I was there with my family, my brother Charlie and his wife Cookie, and their three kids, Lauren, Melanie, and Carl. And Melanie's boyfriend, Jay, joined us along with the team from my Spanish language website, cdisney.com, Federico Argar, Jimmy Valdez, and Melissa Gill. So we had this big group with us out there. And I do own direct points at Aulani. I kind of went nuts in December. I'll be honest, the promotion they were running was too good to pass up. And even my guide said, who'd been there, Gib McCain, who'd been there for years, he goes, and all the time I've been here, I've never seen a promotion like this. By the time I was done with the incentives, I was paying about $128 a point for Aulani.
Wow.
So you had to buy a lot of points to do that. But I'm glad I did. Whether I bought them resale or direct, doesn't matter. I am glad I bought those points at Aulani, because I used them for this trip. And for this trip, I had a 3-bedroom grand villa for the entire week. I had a 2-bedroom handicap accessible room because my niece is in a wheelchair. And then we also were doing our Matterport 3D tours. So I got a studio, we got a 1-bedroom, we got a hotel room, so that we could Matterport those. So having those points came in very handy. And not that I needed a reminder. But if there was any question that I love DVC, this trip took care of it. I have been covering Disney resorts on both coasts for 25 years. I'm not going to say I'm the preeminent expert on them, but if there's a list of experts on Disney resorts, I've got to be on it somewhere. I've seen Disney resorts at their absolute best and their absolute worst. And this was maybe my 5th or 6th time going to Aulani. And the one thing that defines a great resort, Disney or otherwise, is consistency. Consistency of the experience, of the quality, of the amenities, of the product. the consistency of Aulani really should be taught in schools, in hospitality schools. I looked hard for anything I could spot that was wrong. I checked for dust. I looked for wear and tear. I looked for anything that we would normally spot when we go into a DVC room. I got nothing for you. This is me talking.
Yeah, and it wasn't the newest room either, but it still was nice and held up great.
It really looked to me as though if something, a piece of furniture got worn or something, they replaced it.
100%.
They're doing something different there than they are doing here. They are absolutely doing something different. First of all, it is an absolutely stunning resort. The authenticity of that resort. You know, the more you learn about it. And Joe Rohde, who's responsible for Animal Kingdom, the Imagineer responsible for Animal Kingdom, was the lead Imagineer building Aulani. And he wanted to make sure this was an authentic Hawaiian experience and not a cheap characterization of it. So when I say details down to the light fixtures, tell a story. Tell a story. And they do tours of the resort where they explain a lot of this stuff, and I highly recommend that you do it. But when I say they get it right, I don't think I've ever said this about a Disney quick service location. Table service quality food coming out of a quick service. Now, the stuff comes with a mortgage application. I'm not going to say it's cheap. But you know, you get what you pay for.
You can even, a lot of those dishes we split. They were big. And if you split them, they
Portions
were what,
were huge.
20, the portions were huge. For like, it was $24, some things, $30. They were huge portions. But we're not talking little simple things. They were ribs. I don't know if it was a lamb shank. There were things there, and they were all fantastic, which shocked me too.
Now, Paul, you were there last year.
Yep.
What was your impression of Aulani?
I go back to what you said about the wear and tear of this resort. This resort just celebrated its 10-year anniversary. And this place looks immaculate.
It does.
And I don't know if that's because it was ahead of its time in design, which it definitely was, and a lot of the things that, but this is truly like a love story that Joe Rohde gave to us in that resort, because every square inch is just immaculately planned, and it is just breathtakingly beautiful. And this is coming from, when Amy and I went out there, we had planned a couple excursions. We spent the whole trip at the resort. There is I'm a beach bum at heart, so you sit me out on the beach or sit me by the pool, and I'm going to be happy. And this is the place to do it. There's just something for everyone there. I agree with what Pete said about the tours. We did the self-guided tour that talked about, you start to take away parts of the resort and you realize the underworkings of what's going on. Like the roof is absorbing heat to help heat the water, and just all of this stuff that's also giving back to the area as well. Just unbelievable. And yeah, quick service. One of my most memorable meals that we had when we were there, I got ribs, mashed potatoes, and vegetables. The ribs were just...
The ribs.
Yeah.
I make really, really good ribs. Mine are garbage compared to what they were serving there. Unbelievable.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
Oh,
And-
I'm sorry.
I just want to give a plug for the coffee, which we are drinking. We are all drinking. The Makahiki blend from Honolulu Coffee Company. I highly, highly, highly recommend you get this coffee. While I was still at the resort, I ordered 10 pounds of beans that was waiting for me when I got here. And just in case it wasn't, I bought 2 pounds at the resort and had it in my suitcase.
And for the record, we tried other coffee, including 100% Kona coffee, as opposed to this being a blend. The Makahiki blend is better.
1 out.
It is 1 out.
It's phenomenal.
Now, I was asking Panda this right before we started the show, but in terms of reopening, how is the effects of Hawaii right now? Do you feel like it's manageable to travel there? Because that's been a big thing that a lot
Well,
of people,
you had to jump through some hoops. Very similar to cruise line, there was a third-party website you had to go to,
Azoba.
Azova, and you had to not just upload your vaccination certificate, they had to verify with the state that it was accurate, which fortunately was a very quick process for me. They said it could take up to 2 weeks, took 2 days.
Yep.
But just as we were leaving, they announced that they were doing away with that. They were no longer requiring that. So we were like among the last tourists, I think, that are hopefully among the last that are going to have to do that. Mask mandates still in effect in Hawaii. I don't know if they are now, but they were a few weeks ago. But look, the hardest part of Aulani is getting there from the East Coast. If you're on the West Coast, it's a much more manageable trip. But when you're flying from the East Coast, it's a long flight. It's a very, very long flight. It is so worth it.
It really is. Scared flyer here, and I didn't, I wasn't looking forward to the flight. Watched some crazy movies and series. It was worth it when I got there. And I can only liken it to when, this is funny, though, when Dorothy walks out and everything's color, that's how I felt the morning where we woke up and I thought, this was worth every bit of that flight. It really was. It was very different than any other resort I've been in.
I remember when Aulani was first opening 10 years ago. I was a Disney recruiter for the college program. I was sharing this story before we started filming, but I was asked to go and help recruit for Aulani to open it. And like a dingbat, I said no. And you don't live with regrets, but I regret that one so much. But all my friends and colleagues who did go, when they came back, they said one of the things that was so impressive was the storytelling, like Paul talked about, and that they don't say on property. So when we, as if you're a Disney cast member, if you're staying on property, we all know what that means, right? You're staying on Disney property. But in Aulani, Hawaii, they don't say on property because they give to the land and the land gives to us. And so it was that feeling of like when someone would say, oh, I have a meeting, and someone would say, oh, is it on property? What does that mean? What does that mean? Is it at the resort? Yes. But we don't own the property. That, the land takes care of us. So just that similarity of that storytelling right from the beginning. And then also when Aulani first opened, it opened with just a smaller pool because the thought was people are not going to travel all this way just to go to a Disney resort. They're going to do the excursions. They're going to go to Pearl Harbor and do everything. And then the guests came and said, no. We came to see Disney in Aulani and in Hawaii. And so they had to redo the pool. Like Paul said, you guys stayed.
Yeah.
I feel like, I've never been to Aulani. Thanks for letting me sit at the table, guys, by the way, too. But even though I've not been there. But I feel like I'd be that person that would travel all the way and wouldn't want to leave.
Okay, we did leave a little bit, but I have
That's
to tell
good.
you,
I'm glad you did.
You could have
You
stayed.
could have stayed.
You
Right,
could have stayed
right.
at that resort. It had the shave ice. It had shopping.
Yeah.
It had everything, and the storytelling is very easy to miss. I was there for maybe 5 days, thinking this is just a gorgeous resort, until Federico said, this building is man, this building is woman, this building is water, this building is mountain. I was like, oh, and I got it. But it's very easy to miss because it's so beautiful. You don't. I didn't think of the story.
Yeah. It's and we did go off site for a couple of days, but for the most part, we stayed there.
Yeah.
We stayed there. They had to really rebuild their
They had to
infrastructure
rethink it,
because they
yeah.
weren't expecting people to stay at the resort. And people stay at this resort. This resort is a destination unto itself. And that's something to keep in mind. That you could be just fine and not leave. But we did. We did go whale watching.
Oh, please.
And
I didn't know what to expect with that. Can I talk about that for a minute?
please.
The whale watching tour is this. It was a big, I'm going to say boat, but it's a ship. It's a big ship. I would say 1/10 the size of a cruise line ship type thing.
Yeah.
And when you get on, they tell you that, some days they don't see anything and they kind of manage your expectations. And there is a rain check given if you don't see any whales that you can come back another day. So I don't think our expectations, tell me if I'm wrong, were that great.
No, they weren't. They weren't high. Our
right.
expectations were not high.
So we get on and we're with family and stuff, and we're all feeling wonderful at this point. The weather's great, the mountains, we're looking and we see a couple little spouts, and then the one whale jumps up and spins, another jumps up and spins, in succession, 3 of them jump up and spin, or was it, I don't even know if it was 4. And then the naturist on board is freaking out, like he's never seen this in the whole season. God, you people are blessed. And we're like, is this true? Is it? Then they do it again, and again, and a 4th time they jump up. I'm thinking it's SeaWorld already, and they're animatronic, like you said. And it was just amazing. And you could tell this was special. And we felt like, wow, we could have picked any day to go. It felt just, we did get blessed that we saw something beautiful.
All right, Panda just looked it up. It's actually the Star of Honolulu. Is the ship we were on. And I got to tell you, that was an experience. That was an experience.
We teared up. We really did tear up.
No, it was emotional. I mean, it was so beautiful. And like I said, they were managing our expectations getting on, so we figured, we're not going to see anything. And this was toward the second half of our trip. So if we didn't see anything and they gave us a rain check, we weren't going to be able to come back anyway. So we were so thrilled. We were so thrilled.
And we still would have had fun. Being all together, we still would have chalked it up to we tried. So you could do it. And even if you didn't see anything and you're with people you like, you're going to have fun.
And Panda got some great video. You could send that to Fiasco so we can put it in.
You want me to text it to you right now, Fiasco? Will text work or email?
Text or Dropbox, either one works.
Okay.
Fine. Thank you, sir.
Did you get to the spa?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. That spa. Disney, that spa has no equal. Don't ask me to pronounce it. Spa.
That was pretty close.
That was pretty close. Absolutely gorgeous spa. That's why I say it really is a self-contained experience. Because you have the lazy river, you have the pools, you have the hot tubs, you got the cabanas, you've got the spa. You have the quick service restaurant, Ama, the table service is not open. But the Makahiki, which used to be the buffet restaurant, which is now a la carte, that's where you have the character experiences. But you have a character interaction, a socially distanced character interaction before you go in. And they take pictures and stuff, and they'll take pictures with your phone. And Panda is showing this video now.
I sent it to Corey.
To Kerri.
Did you see it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It will see it in the thing.
You have the socially distanced interaction with the characters. They take pictures. They'll take pictures with your camera, your phone for you. And then you can, once you're seated, they come around and you can buy the pictures. And the food was okay.
Mine was pretty good. We had fried rice with scrambled eggs, and it was really good, I thought. And the pineapple juice, I still can't taste pineapple juice like I did in Hawaii.
I mean, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad at all. Again, the one thing you do have to be mindful of are the prices. Everything is more expensive in Hawaii. Everything has to be shipped onto the island. That drives the price. I don't know how people afford to live there, honestly. But where I might have complained about those prices somewhere else, I was like, all right.
You're in paradise.
I get to be here. It really is paradise.
How easy is it to get from the airport to the resort?
Oh, it's pretty much a straight shot.
Straight shot, yeah.
It was like 45 minutes.
Not even. It's about a half hour,
Yep.
depending on traffic. All right, now, I understand, Fiasco, we have the whale video queued.
Yes, we do, and here it is.
Wow. Oh my God.
So you would think that was it, right? They're not coming back up. No, they come back up.
Totally animatronic.
I see
Right.
I see what you mean about that.
I've been on like countless whale watching cruises before, and it's like you see one dolphin, it's like ooh.
Right.
Look, they keep coming. I'm telling you, this was SeaWorld. They had put them there and trained them.
They were showing off for you.
Now,
Okay, wait. There's some truth to what you just said. When we left, they did the same thing to the back of the ship, and they swear that they were saying goodbye. And who knows if there's some sort of sense that they have that, maybe they hear the oohs and ahs and they realize
Now I know the video changes perspective. Like, how close would you say you actually were?
300 feet away.
I guess.
I'm guessing. I'm giving a complete guess, but I'm going to say 300 feet away.
Pretty
They
close.
have to maintain a
Right,
certain
distance.
distance legally. They have to maintain a certain distance. But close enough
Yeah.
to see that.
Amazing.
And watching it live, it was breathtaking. It was absolutely breathtaking. And yeah, I mean, the people that work on the ship were saying, yeah, we've never seen that. The captain was saying.
And the reason why I didn't know if I should believe them. I thought they were trying to make it feel more special. I was like, really? They asked for the video. So I do believe that. They're like, please, can you send us that? I guess they'll use it in advertising, which will destroy everybody's, expectations.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was something else.
We only saw 2 whales.
Right, they count how many times they jump.
Now, Kerri, you used to work for DVC.
Yeah.
Why is it so hard for Disney to sell that property?
For what you said earlier, the flight. I really believe it's the flight. When I was a guide for a few years with DVC, and we were selling Aulani and Polynesian at that time. So completely different resorts. And, one you have a studio or a bungalow, and the other one you have all of the room accommodations. And so people would gravitate to the room accommodations to say, we want the 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, but we can't take every year. And for our family of 4, we live in New Jersey or Boston or New York to justify that flight over. So they would go with Poly and then use it for some of the other resorts. It was always the flight is what it was, even though the price was less. And as much as we would say, you don't have to use your home resort, but you get people in that mind that says, yeah, but if it's my home resort, I have to use it at least a few times.
Yeah.
Well, let me put it to you this way. First of all, you can usually get really good incentives
Yes.
on Aulani. But if you're a fan of the Polynesian at one time was my favorite Disney resort. Then I went to Aulani.
Right.
And all of a sudden, I'm like, Polynesian.
You are preaching to the Poly's my favorite resort. You have spoiled me. Now I still like it,
Yeah.
but it's not Aulani.
It's not Aulani.
And I will always now say that.
I think too. Also, if you've come to Disney for so long, the parks are crowded. You need the reservation. You have to do mobile dining, and so to think about going on a resort vacation where you can just relax and still have the service of Disney, the culture of Hawaii, that is to me the perfect destination because I'm noticing that not a lot of people are coming here specifically for the parks any longer. You've got your park goers, and then you've got the resort guests that say, I just want to go chill out at the beach club. I just want to go relax at the boardwalk or Animal Kingdom or whatnot. So if you're not looking for a park stay, then Aulani's hands down.
And so you said the culture of Hawaii. I think that might be also one of the reasons that Aulani is so special.
Yeah.
I think the people there
absolutely.
easily adapt to the Disney philosophies and
Yes.
things, whereas you would hear maybe in France it was harder to get.
It was.
So
Right. And it was funny because when it first opened, when a lot of my colleagues went out, they'd say, we're very everyone has a watch on, and if the meeting's at 5, it's at 5 and we're not late. Disney, if you're not on time, then you're late. Like it's, very time sensitive. And in Aulani, they were like, we're on island time.
Yeah.
We'll start when everyone gets here. And Walt Disney World cast members are very buttoned up in the way that we were dressed and everything. They're all in Polynesian, Tommy Bahama shirts and whatnot.
Hang
and it was
loose.
so relaxed. Right. And so it was combining both of those cultures to make, I think, really one perfect culture. And I think that's what makes it feel so special from any other resort.
And we did go to a super Target to do our grocery shopping because, we had the Grand Villa, Gurja loins. Gurja loins for the price of groceries. Again, I don't know how people afford to live on this island. It was so expensive. But what are you going to do? You got that Grand Villa, you got that beautiful kitchen. You got to use it. And Federico is a phenomenal cook.
he really made great breakfasts.
Wow.
Oh, he would make
Crispy
these
bacon.
fantastic. And that's how he woke Panda up. He'd start cooking bacon.
Oh, I would emerge from the room like this, and they would go, "See, there was the bacon," and they weren't lying.
I think it was the first morning. Federico was getting ready to start. I said, "Is Panda up yet?" He goes, "No." I said, "I guarantee you, you start cooking bacon, he's coming out of that. He's coming." Sure enough.
It really did happen. It's not a
Sure
lie.
enough, that bacon went down. A few minutes later, out comes Panda.
And then it worked every day that he did
It worked every day he did it.
If you don't react to bacon, something's wrong with you. I mean,
Thank you.
Yep.
Is Federico available for hire on tours?
If you take him to Aulani, I'm guessing he would. But no, it was. And then there
The
was
shopping on that strip with all the Prada, Louis Vuitton.
Oh yeah, we went. Well, I had to do.
But it was like you were on Rodeo Drive.
Yeah,
It was
in
beautiful.
Waikiki.
Yeah.
In Waikiki.
The beaches there, the shopping.
I forgot the name of the street.
Honolulu Cookie Company.
You had all of these really great high-end stores. We had a really nice lunch over there. Forgot the name of the
Oh,
place.
the bakery place.
I can't remember the
Yeah.
name of it.
I don't
But we
remember.
had a really nice lunch over there. It was
the
that
Honolulu Cookie Company.
was Honolulu Cookie Company. Oh my God, best shortbread cookies you're ever going to taste. Incredible what they do with cookies.
Amazing.
So Honolulu Cookie Company, Honolulu Coffee Company. These are places you need to check out. But for me, watching the faces of my family as they have this experience, now that did it. That did it for me. Look, we've all had a crappy couple of years. This kind of made up for it a little bit. Being able to have that experience with my friends and my family, I never would have been able. If I was paying cash for this, I would have to forget it. It would have cost a fortune. And not that you're not paying for it with DVC. It's just it breaks that up to it's not quite such a hit all at once. And I don't know. It reminded me why I love it. Why I love DVC.
I was there with him on the balcony when his family had left, And I just noticed Pete looked different, and he said it's very rare to get everybody together at one time.
I don't.
And
get-
he was touched by that.
I don't get to see my nieces and my nephew together. I'll see them individually. But, my nephew Carl lives in New Jersey. My niece Melanie lives right up the street. My niece Lauren lives in North Carolina. So getting all three of them together, for me, is rare. And it's also rare for my brother and his wife to have their three kids together at once. So seeing the look on my brother's face, and they're just having a great time, right? They're just having a great time. And, those of us who plan trips, that's what we're going for.
Right.
The stuff you can't put a
Yeah.
price.
That's what
Special.
we're going for.
Right.
We plan the trip because we want that reaction. We want to see that look on people's faces. And I'm not saying a Disney vacation doesn't do that. A DVC vacation to Aulani, whole nother level. It's a whole nother level. And, I hope over the years you've come to trust my voice. I will tell you exactly what I think. Trust me when I tell you, you're missing something if you don't go to Aulani. I stand to gain nothing from telling you this. And I don't normally make an appeal like this, but it's that good. And I think if you talk to other people who've been there, they'll back me up on this. Aulani is that good. It's worth the flight. Yes, the flight's annoying. It's a long flight. From here, it's 10 hours. It was longer for us because we had a layover. Because I didn't do my job right when I booked the flights. Because I took care of everything, right? They didn't have to worry about nothing. I took care of flights. I took care of the rooms. And, I wish there was a DVC for airlines.
Airlines.
Because that was a bill, flying all these people to Hawaii. But worth every dime. Worth every dime. I got a special credit card for it. But I rarely say this. You are truly missing something if you don't experience Aulani. If you're getting kind of tired of World and feeling like World is getting on your last nerve, change it up. I'm not saying give up on it. I'm saying change it up. Plan a trip to Aulani. Plan a trip to Aulani. I promise you, you will thank me. You will thank me. And we didn't talk about.
Pineapple plantation?
Well, no, the Dole Plantation, which is a tourist trap, but everybody should do it at least once. I do it every time I go. North Shore, the town of Haleiwa,
Oh.
where Matsumoto's Shave Ice
Yes,
is.
yes.
Lots of great little shops and things like that. But no, I was
Food
going to say,
trucks.
we left Aulani and went to Disneyland for a couple days.
Oh.
And I managed to score a 1-bedroom and a 2-bedroom at Grand Californian, which actually I was looking. The way this whole trip came about was I was just looking to see if I could get something at Grand Californian and go out, because I was thinking about going out to Disneyland, and I found these dates. First, I found the 2-bedroom. I waitlisted a 1-bedroom. After I realized that I was bringing a whole group with me. But I got the 2-bedroom, and I only got it for 2 nights. And I don't know where my thought process went. I said, you know what, let's go to Aulani. It's been a while. Let's go to Aulani. And then I thought, oh, wouldn't it be great to bring my family out? And then my head exploded. And I went into like full trip planning mode, which I love getting to do. I don't get to do it a lot anymore, you know? So that's kind of how it all.
I didn't know that. I thought Aulani came first.
No, Disneyland came first, and then I kind of built the Aulani trip around Disneyland because it was so rare. It's so hard to get Grand Californian.
How many nights total was your whole trip?
9.
9 nights.
9. Yeah, you'd need something like that with Disneyland.
We didn't have enough time in Disneyland. I
Yeah.
could stay in Disneyland so much longer.
I know just sitting here listening to all of this, like we get asked all the time, like, why should I buy DVC? But it's watching Pete talk about Aulani. It's watching these reactions, listening about, being able to spend time with your family and all of that kind of stuff. There's cost savings associated with it, all of that kind of stuff as well. But you make memories that you will have forever.
Oh, my family's never going to forget this. I'm never going to forget it.
Yeah.
And I'm ready to do it again. And this is the thing too. I still got the Aulani glow going on. I can still feel it. And it's been 3 weeks, I think, right?
There is that I'm so glad you said there is that something special about that resort, that place. It's almost like a forced relaxation. You can't help it. Even though we even worked, I still felt like I relaxed a lot. We were on the balcony and there is something in the air. The glow, that's what I'm going to call it. I don't know what else to
The
call it.
Aulani glow, which is also radiation from being in the sun. But no, it really was
Spectacular.
Absolutely spectacular. And I can't encourage you enough. And people talk about, I don't want that as my home resort because I'm not going to go there all the time.
It doesn't.
Those
matter.
points work just fine
Yeah. Right.
at the other resorts. And honestly, I'm going to do an 11-month booking there. I don't have to. I booked this trip in December to go in March.
Right. Mm-hmm.
That's the other nice thing about Aulani. Tons of availability.
Except for that hotel room that we tried to get. That was hard to get. But that's because they're limiting it?
They're still limiting their capacity. Or I don't know about now. But I think that's changing too. But I had no trouble getting, like I said, a Grand Villa, which usually those go very quickly. But phenomenal trip. Can't wait to do it again. And please, run, don't walk to Aulani. And that is going to do it for our show for this week. We hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you again next week with another episode of the DVC Show. Have a great week, folks.